All right, today we're going to talk about some trigonometry. We'll talk about what that means more in class, but here we're going to start at least looking at some of these angles. Okay, we're dealing with right triangles. All right, so on all these, there should be a right triangle. All right, and I'm going to talk about specifically angle B. So I'm going to look at angle B in this case, and you guys got to be able to identify these relationships to angle B. Okay? Inside here, there is three different types. We have opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. All right, so these are the three different relationships we're going to have. Now, no matter what angle we are talking about, the hypotenuse is going to be the same. So this is the hypotenuse. It is the side opposite the 90-degree angle. So hypotenuse is going to be the same every time, but we'll talk about how it becomes different for if we're talking about angle B or angle C. Now, when we're talking about angle B, okay, the side that is opposite angle B, all right, so here you can draw your arrow, and if you're looking at the side opposite angle B, this is going to be my opposite over here. So AC is going to be my opposite. Then now my hypotenuse we already said was BC. And that leaves adjacent. Adjacent kind of means, let me put here, next to. Alright? So I don't know if I spelled that too right. I like next to. Alright? It's one touching the angle. So BA in this case is going to be my adjacent. Adjacent is next to. Okay? This is a little different. So if we're talking about, let's go to this one here. Same triangle, but in this case, we are going to highlight angle C. If we are talking about angle C, then things are a little different. Alright, so in angle C, we have opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is going to be the same. The hypotenuse is still BC. This is my hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent is, we'll do opposite first actually. Opposite is the one opposite, so opposite is BA. And then that leaves adjacent as this AC down here. You have to be able to set these up. Okay? So we have those, how we set those up. It depends on what angle we are talking about. Alright? So now we're going to use what's called SOHCAHTOA. Alright, so we have SOHCAHTOA here. These stand for different things. If you open your, or get your calculators out, we're going to use what's called sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay? So they are, if you look here at tangent, cosine, and sine, those are the three buttons that we are going to use. We're just going to be setting them up today so it's not too confusing. All right, but here we go. SOHCAHTOA is the sine of an angle is equal to its opposite over the hypotenuse. And we'll talk about what that means coming up, but you guys need to make sure the sine of whatever angle is there, or whatever angle we're talking about, whether it was B or C, is equal to the length of the opposite over the length of the hypotenuse. Alright, so here we have the same thing. Cosine of an angle is equal to, and then this is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse. Same thing, the next one is tangent. So tangent of whatever angle we're talking about is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so that's SOHCAHTOA. You guys need to remember that. That's what's going to help us determine if we're using sine, cosine, or tangent, and we'll get more into that in depth in class. All right, so here we're going to break it down. If I'm talking about the sine of B, okay, it looks like sin, it's just the sine of B, of angle B. Okay, sine is, if you remember, SOHCAHTOA. Sine is my opposite over my hypotenuse. So sine of B We have opposite over hypotenuse. Now we're looking at B. Opposite is going to be 4. And then my hypotenuse in this case is always going to be 5. So that's how we're setting it up. Cosine. Again, we're talking about B. It's good to put out here hypotenuse. This is my opposite. And then we have, this is my adjacent here. And then you can just kind of pull those. So cosine is adjacent. Let me change colors. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So my adjacent is here, 3, over my hypotenuse, which is 5. Tangent is the same thing. Tangent, if you look at TOA, so it is opposite over adjacent. Then we have 4 over 3 is my tangent of angle B. Okay? Now this is a little different depending on which angle we're using. So we use angle B first. Now we are going to use angle C. Alright, so I'm going to redo this whole triangle for angle C. So angle C is the point of, is the one that we're looking at. So now the 3 is my opposite, the 4 is my adjacent, and the 5 is my hypotenuse. That's a weird 8. Okay? So now sine, again, is still opposite over hypotenuse. So we have opposite is 3 over 5. Now we have cosine of C. Cosine, you guys need practice, adjacent over hypotenuse. According to angle C, the adjacent is 4. And the hypotenuse is 5. And then tangent of C is, we have opposite over adjacent. The opposite is 3. The adjacent is 4. And those are my trig ratios. Some things we can talk about further in class. The cosine of B is the same thing as the sine of C. Then we have cosine of C is the same thing as the sine of B. All right, we'll talk about all those in class, but that's just how to set them up. Okay? So we're setting all of those up. You guys make sure you understand to ask questions. This is a little confusing, so y'all need to come with questions in class.